Exclamation, everybody, and welcome to a game that I have wanted to play for a very long time. It is a fan game in a universe that I love, and I will just stay quiet here while the opening credits start.
Approaching nav 4. I've got 2 sensor contacts on my scopes.
Roger that. Stay on my wing and we'll check them out.
I've got visual contact with 2 shuttles.
Confirmed. Stand by, Echo 2.
Inbound shuttles, this is Echo 1. Please identify yourselves.
This is Shuttle Bravo Sierra 80. Our little convoy is bringing you some new trainees.
Good, we've been expecting you.
Welcome to the Oberon system. It may not be the end of the universe, but I swear you can see it from here. But it's a good place to keep the rookies out of trouble. So, are these guys any better than the last batch you sent us?
That's for you fighter jockeys to decide. Me, I'm just a bus driver.
Yeah, well, we'll figure that out soon enough. I'm transferring nav data for the Wellington. Whenever you're ready, we'll take these kids to their new home.
Now, we are still talking about the Wellington, right? That's probably the first time in a few decades she's been referred to as new.
Well, she may not be state-of-the-art, but she gets the job done.
Incoming shuttle convoy, this is Wellington Control. Please identify yourselves.
Wellington Control, this is Shuttle Bravo Sierra 80 and Alpha Romeo 61, requesting permission for approach.
Shuttle Bravo Sierra 80, you are cleared for landing. Shuttle Alpha Romeo 61, give us a second to reset to ALCS and we'll bring you in. Welcome to the TCS Wellington.
Good morning, newcomers. As you may know, my name is Major Boz. I'm the executive officer of this fighter wing and the squadron leader of the Diamondbacks. In case you didn't know, we're in the Oberon system of the Vega sector. Today we will be doing basic flight training to understand the ins and outs of using your fighters, as well as covering some basic navigational skills. For this exercise, we will be flying the F-27 Arrow. The latest version of this versatile reconnaissance fighter interceptor was recently deployed to active duty, replacing both the Ferret and the Epi. It's light, fast, and maneuverable. Respect the Arrow, and the Arrow will respect you. If you recall the technical specifications, the Arrow can carry a large number of missiles. For this hop though, you won't have any. We wouldn't want any of you rookies to go around blowing yourself or your wingman up, now would we? Sandman, Champ, and Panzer, I'm your instructor for this hop. You other newbies will have one of the Wellington's other veteran pilots as your trainer. Pilots, board your fighters and launch from the Wellington only after you have orders from your instructor. Sandman, Champ, and Panzer, don't touch anything in your cockpit before I tell you to. Dismissed.
Alright, it's mostly just the beginning training tutorial here. So we will launch. And...
Alright, pilots, let's get started, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
I was born ready. Okay then. First we will exit the carrier's hangar bay before we review some basic controls. I have taken over control of your fighters for the moment, so sit back and relax. Wellington Control, we are ready. Request permission to launch.
Lieutenant Bredizel here, Major. I will bring you home at the end of your workday. Be advised that we have other training wings active in the area. You are cleared for takeoff.
alright, I'm going to cut some of this out because it's basic stuff, and then we'll return when it gets interesting.
That's one of our Corvettes. Be nice, will ya? Close up into formation with me.
Hey, Arrows! Nice to see a friendly face.
Same goes for you. How's it going?
We're on picket duty in this backwater system. The monotony tends to grind on you after a while. There's nothing here but space dust, asteroids, and boredom.
Well, as you can see, we've got a new gaggle of trainees. Maybe they can liven up your day.
So you want us to give them some authentic training?
Sure, why not?
Q will rebalance your shields using the available energy to stabilize all quadrants. Yes.
Lieutenant, I have switched your weapons to training mode, so damage and hits will only be simulated. Attack the Corvette and try to inflict hull damage greater than 90%. On the other hand, pilots, you'll each be considered eliminated if your own simulated integrity gets below 50%. Watch and learn, folks.
Alright, let's test our metal here for the first time, even though we're in training mode. So cool, this is the Prologue that I'm playing right now. This was part of the demo that in case I haven't mentioned, this is a fan-created game, created over a period of 11 years. Very early on they had a demo. The demo was just the Prologue missions, just to give everybody a little bit of teaser of what they were doing. This is part of that. This, I believe, is the same as what I played before. We'll see. It is slightly different here. I don't remember doing this part, so perhaps they have changed it a bit. We'll see. Obviously, the models are a little bit better than what was in the demo, and they've improved a few other things along the way, including the audio. So yeah, this is all like volunteers did their voice, lend their voice to it. You know, did the modeling, the programming, all that fun stuff. The game is actually sitting on top of the FreeSpace 2 engine, the FreeSpace 2 open sourced engine that the community took over, and you know, Volition released the source code for free. Community took it over, and
we've got it. My computer shows the Corvette should be crippled now.
Oh crap! We just got beat by a wing of plebes. Looks like you've been training them good, Major. Anyways, we've checked your nav point back to the Wellington. Got a clear way home.
Roger that. Good job, Sandman. You handled that well. Pilots, let's head course back to the Wellington.
Good job out there, David. Your game was right on.
You did great too, Angela. Thanks for having my back.
You did all right. Now let's get moving.
Proceed to next waypoint.
And as I was saying, the community took the open source FreeSpace 2 open source engine and improved upon it so that it uses DirectX 7, I believe, and all that fun stuff, because it was using DirectX 2.
Mikey, how did your trainees do?
Not bad, sir. Not bad at all. We might make pilots out of them yet.
That's what they pay us for. TCS Wellington, request permission to land.
Finish taking the baby chicks out for a spin?
Of course. Now it's time to bring them home to roost. Alright, Lieutenants. This concludes our little trip. Go ahead and land. We'll meet at debriefing.
And I will land manually, even though I could autopilot. I choose not to, although I don't quite have my controls set up just yet. I did have them set up before, but then I started a new pilot.
Good job out there, Sandman. You handled that arrow like an old pro, and you showed some leadership potential with your wing. Anyways, overall you did a good job out there today. We'll see if you can keep it up when the heavier training begins. Dismissed. Good morning, pilots. Since none of you ended up sucking vacuum on your first training exercise, Lieutenant Colonel Mitchell asked if we could keep from screwing up a few simple milk runs. You may consider them to be on-the-job training. Today we are tasked with escorting the shuttles and transports that brought you newbies, along with the replacement equipment and supplies you will use for the next few weeks, out of the system. Each of you will be detailed a convoy of a few shuttles or transports, depending on their destination. Personnel shuttle launches have been staggered so that at least one of the Diamondback senior officers will be able to observe you rookies and hold your hands on this mission. As soon as you return, the next escort flight will launch and so on. Check the computers for your assignments. Sandman, you'll be with me on this run. The transport TCS Aurora is headed for the Edding system. We will hook up with the transport and ensure its safe passage. Lieutenants Chaplin and Chrysologo will be joining us. We have set up a 4-point navigational route, passing by an asteroid field and finally leading to the Eddings jump point at Nav 4. As soon as the transport has been safely delivered, we will return to the Wellington.
Alright, let's jump to it.
Shuttle Bravo Sierra 80, you are cleared for takeoff. Your escort is waiting for you at the designated rendezvous coordinates.
Okay, we'll wait for the shuttle to clear the bay and then wait for our instructions.
You have permission to launch, Lieutenant.
Very good. Alright, let's get our ass in gear. I have to, off camera, change my controls around. I'll wait for a little bit.
This is Sandman, awaiting orders for escort mission.
Nice to meet you, Sandman. They call me Assassin.
And they call me Ninja. Nice to meet you, kid.
Nice to meet you too. How long have you guys been on the Wellington?
For a few months. We got put here right after the Battle of Earth.
You guys fought in it?
Yeah, we were in the same ferret squadron. It was actually our first mission right out of the academy.
All of us who survived were all promoted one rank after that escapade.
That's really cool.
Yeah, well, not all of us rookies survived.
Well, it made for one heck of a career starter.
Sandman, I see you met Assassin and Ninja. They're good pilots. The record at the Battle of Earth and their service on the Wellington has proven that. You do well to watch them closely. For the most part. Sometimes their communications decorum is a little lax. I'd rather not have you pick up that particular habit.
Ah, come on, Major. If we've got to fight a war, I think we've got the right to have at least a little fun while we do it.
We all need to blow a little steam now and then. Don't push it. When have we ever pushed the line? You want a list?
No thanks.
Good. Send navigation to Nav 1.
Roger that, Major. Sandman, out.
Hey, Sandman, don't forget to hook up with the transport's autopilot system. Fly within 950 clicks of the transport to make the link.
Will do. One of the things I want to note, even though we're not in a cutscene right now, this is fan-made, so the cutscenes do not have closed captioning, or any kind of captioning for that matter. That's unfortunate, but I know that you may not be able to understand some of the things that they're saying. At least in the in-com communications, you'll see the text of what they're saying. But in the cutscenes, you won't. There's not much I can do about that, unfortunately.
We are ready to go, Lieutenant.
Proceed to next
So I just wanted to note that, just so you know. I would turn on the captions if I could, if they existed. Alright, let's get this tug on the road here.
We have reached Nav 1. Scopes are clear. How are you doing so far, Sandman?
Fine. Just fine.
Yeah, it's about this time on an escort mission when the boredom really starts to set in. You gotta be careful to stay focused. You can start to daydream, and if you're not careful you could even drift off to sleep. Speaking of which, Major, I've been having these weird dreams lately. About evil Kilrathi waiting to snatch you from under your bed? No, really, it's kinda different. And how is that, Lieutenant? You always appear wearing old cowboy attire and leather chaps with no pants.
Oh, not that one again. I love that dream.
Will you two morons shut up? You were going to traumatize poor Sandman for life. Sorry, sir.
And this is what can happen when you get bored on a transport escort run. Ugh, scary stuff.
Transport runs are important to the Confederation war effort, Sandman. Our combat forces need fuel, weapons, and supplies. We could lose the war by losing too many transports, even if we didn't lose a single capital ship.
Yes, sir.
Good. He can be taught. Let's move on.
Proceed.
You know, I really like the acting in here, even though they're all fans and they're all doing this for free. I like how they've written these characters because they're not serious, but at the same time they have that little chip on their shoulder, like, you know, hey, we've survived a bunch of crap, and you better listen up. Which is good. It's a nice little touch. They're not overbearing, but at the same time.
Arrived at Nav
Kilrathian pirates aren't the only threat to our transports. Now, you see those rocks in front of you? Those are called asteroids. They float around and run into things and hurt them. We're here to keep that from happening to the transport. If any asteroids stray too close to the transport, your job is to blast them.
Yes, sir. But, sir, if the asteroids are dangerous, why not just steer the transport clear of them?
It's the enemy we can't see that is most dangerous, Sandman. The asteroids provide cover and help us hide our supply routes. Right now, we are just going to skirt the edge of the field. It will provide some natural ECM for us and decrease the likelihood of us being detected.
Even though there likely isn't anything out there trying to detect us, that's standard precautions and all, you know.
Keep in mind, though, that the ECM works both ways, so we probably won't see anything the size of a light fighter hiding in the asteroids until it is practically on top of us. So, keep your eyes open for anything in the asteroids.
Proceed to next waypoint.
Alright guys, future memory leak death breaking in here for a moment. I just want to take a little programming note here. I didn't notice this until I started editing these videos. But when I recorded this, I had Flux installed on my machine, and all the colors are drained out of it. It's all very muddy.
Arrived at Nav 3. I'm reading a lot of rocks and not much else.
Looks like there's no danger here after all. Should we proceed to the next nav point?
Wait a second. I've got some strange readings on the scope. Analyzing... Contact! I'm picking up multiple bogies in the asteroid field. Computer reads as Razor and Demon-class fighters. IFF is negative.
You spoke too soon, Sandman. Look sharp.
I'm seeing it too. Looks like the vessels are Terran.
Could they be mercenaries or militia?
If they were, they would have told us that already. They're probably just pirates.
Pirates? How? What would they be doing here?
Sandman, just because we've been fighting the Kilrathi for the past 35 years or so, doesn't mean piracy and other criminal activities have just come to a screeching halt.
Well, then let's take them out.
Well, you need to warn them first. They are citizens of the Confederation after all. Assassin, read them their rights.
Unidentified fighters, this is Aero Escort flight from the TCS Wellington. You have the right to get the hell away from us. You have the right to tell us that you are pirate scumbags. And you have the right to attack us and get blown to space dust. What are your intentions, over?
Die, pig! You know, I'm actually feeling kind of disappointed here. I was hoping for an army tea or something like that.
Sir, I don't think he liked his rights.
I don't think so either.
Bandits are accelerating to attack speed, heading directly for the Aurora.
That does it. Break formation and open fire. Protect the TCS Aurora at all costs.
Yes, sir. Breaking formation and opening fire.
TCS Wellington, the Aurora is under attack by pirate forces at Nav 3. Request backup. Over.
Request acknowledged, Major.
Okay, Sandman, this is the real thing, so keep your eyes open. If missiles are fired at you, you need to make sure to use your countermeasures. Remember, your missile alarm will beep faster the closer the missile gets to you. When it gets close, drop a countermeasure, hit your afterburners, and bank hard. That will be the best chance for evading the missile.
Take out those demons first. They're capable of carrying a heavy missile load that could seriously damage the Aurora.
Okay, again, future memory leak death breaking in here.
What's it say in your manual about?
Just to continue my thought on the quality issues here, I've done the best I can in editing to kind of restore some of the color. Again, the color is very muddy because Flux was running at the time. I did not realize that it was going to affect the final product here. So I've done what I can without making it too bluish. So hopefully everything works out okay, but I just wanted to give you that note so that you know. And we return you to your regularly scheduled programming. Alright, you bastards, what are you going to do here? Come on. Oh, we got a missile. Oh, I don't know what my countermeasures button is not mapped on my joystick the way I want it to be. This is going to be a problem. Just a slight problem. You know, it is really cool though. The Razors and Demons here. These are ships that you actually fight against in Wing Commander Privateer. So it's really cool to be to see them again and actually be fighting them in an Arrow here, instead of in the crappy civilian ships that you usually have in Wing Commander Privateer. So this is rather awesome and a nice blast from the past. Speaking of blasts from the past, I should probably take a moment to discuss where this game falls into the Wing Commander universe. Right now, we are just prior to Wing Commander 3, the events in Wing Commander 3, the beginning of Wing Commander 3. The beginning of this starts, as I said, right before the events of Wing Commander 3, and after the events of Wing Commander 2, and during that time period we have, as you've heard Assassin and Ninja talk about, the Battle for Earth. That never took place in a Wing Commander game, or in a canon game I should say, but it is something that took place as far as the extended canon goes. And it's also sort of implied, but never actually talked about in any of the Wing Commander games. In Wing Commander 3, I should say. After Wing Commander 2, there's this time period called the False Peace. And what happened during that time is that the Karathi, you know, after Wing Commander 2, we gave them a pretty nasty bump on the head. Particularly after the special operations, when we disrupted their religious ceremony on Fireka. That is the Tiger's Claw did. Now, well, actually, I shouldn't say the Tiger's Claw. It was the Concordia did. The Tiger's Claw actually, if you played the first Wing Commander and the special operations, or secret missions, I mean, after that, right at the beginning of Wing Commander 2, the Tiger's Claw is destroyed by stealth fighters. And you spend all of Wing Commander 2 and the special operations flying off the Concordia, which is at the time Admiral Tolwyn's ship, but Admiral Tolwyn is now, as of this period in time, I believe he's on a space station right now, directing the battle. He will eventually, during this time period, move briefly onto the TCS Victory and come into play in Wing Commander 3's events. But I won't get too far into that because there will be spoilers there. Unless you've played Wing Commander 3, and then you pretty much know what's going to happen. So, the Battle for Earth, essentially what happened was, right after the events of Fireka, the Kilrathi suddenly offer a peace treaty. Or not a peace treaty, but an armistice. And during that time, the Confederation stands down and begins to mothball a lot of its fleet that it doesn't need, and puts a lot of people on reserve. The Kilrathi, on the other hand, use that time to build up their forces. It was really, that's why they call it the False Peace. They were using it to buy time so that their shipyards can gather up steam and replenish all of their losses. And then they use that to then launch an attack directly on Earth. Very large fleet. And that is what these pilots fought in.
Fighters are taking off. Let them go. Return to escort formation.
But we could...
Get back here, Sandman, or I'll remove you from the flight roster. We can't leave the transport vulnerable chasing after a few kills.
Okay. We will return to formation.
Major, I'm returning to escort formation.
Major, this is Viking. We were told you were under attack. We're here to offer assistance.
We were under attack, Viking, but we destroyed several of them and drove off the rest. They are fleeing into the asteroid field.
What's the status of your wing?
We are all functional. Sandman didn't do half bad in a real fight.
Thanks, sir. I did my best.
You're turning out just fine, kid. You guys should have seen him.
Good work, David. I can't wait to hear all about it.
That's right. We've got a decision to make. My wing is still fresh. Do we pursue the pirates?
Negative. Lieutenant Colonel Mitchell says the chances of an ambush is too great. You are to finish your current objective and then return to base. From there, we will organize a proper search.
Okay then. Let's get the transport to the jump point at Nav 4. Then they'll be safe. Viking, we'll see you back at base. Activate the autopilot.
Proceed to next waypoint.
Well, the Aurora is not doing so well. At 43% there, as you saw on the right-hand side. So, it's a bit rough. Bit rough around the edges. I should have targeted the bombers first, but I got a little bit carried away and just picked the closest things I could find. This game is quite punishing, even though this is the prologue. The prologue isn't as punishing as the rest of the game.
This is TCS George Custer performing jump point control. Did you have any problems out there, Alpha Wing?
We ran into a few pirates, but we were able to beat them back.
Pirates, huh? That's surprising. TCS Aurora, we're ready to assume escort.
Affirmative. Thanks for the escort work, Major.
We'll guard the transport until she leaves the system. You're relieved of your escort duty.
Roger that. Alpha Wing, let's get back to the Wellington. Set course back home to Nav 5.
So as I was saying, this game is very punishing to the point where, so I've played the prologue before. I also played the first 3 or 4 missions of the game, maybe 5, and I gave up on this game because it was just so freaking hard. I'm hoping that the pressure of getting episodes out will keep me playing.
The flight deck is free. You have clearance to land. Good job out there.
Roger, Wellington Control. All right, boys. We can go back home now.
So, once we get the opportunity, I will continue talking about the Battle for Earth, as well as giving you kind of a overview of where we stand as far as the lore of this game goes. I love the Wing Commander universe. I love the lore of the universe. So,
Very nice work, Sandman. We were all taken by surprise by those pirates in the system. You kept your cool, followed orders, and fought well, and kept yourself and your wing from getting smeared to nanoparticles. Don't let your reputation of being the top prospect in your class go to your head, but you did well enough out there today.
very good. All right.
Pilots, as you may have all heard, during our escort missions yesterday, a group of pirates attacked the transport Aurora. Several pirates successfully escaped from the engagement. Despite the confirmed pirate presence in the system, we are going to continue with our training as scheduled. If you encounter pirates or any hostiles during your training flights, you are not to engage without direct orders. We are short of tasks in this sector at the moment, so you will be assigned to a different class of fighter for a few training missions. Some of you guys will fly the F-86C Hellcat 5, a wonderful multi-purpose fighter which you will fly a lot in the future. Others will get to fly the F-66B Thunderbolt 7, a heavy fighter that can absorb and dish out severe pain. Upon launch, we will fly to the nearest asteroid belt. We will then use the asteroids for target practice, but, and hear me well, do not fire any missiles without permission. Every missile you fire without my express say-so will be taken out of your pay. Those things aren't cheap, and the taxpayers don't like paying for trainees who get trigger happy.
And we'll keep pirate hunting in the next episode.